Good day. My name is Justine Pierre, and I am the Director of Research and Business Development at the Canadian firm of Dunn Pierre Barnett and Company Canada Limited. Good morning, delegates, including governments and organizational officials. I have been involved in the study of human trafficking for well over 12 years. Our firm, Dunn Pierre Barnett, and our non-profit organization Cancaro have been involved in human trafficking, and we have one of the most extensive database in the region about human trafficking. We attribute our success mainly to many individuals, government, and association. We first want to thank Dr. Elizabeth Thomas Hope for her work on migration in the Caribbean. In fact, I got introduced to the subject of migration and human trafficking from Miss Hope. We also want to thank the government of the Turks and Caicos, who invited us to conduct the Turks and Caicos National Skills Audit and the Turks and Caicos Migration Survey in 2016, when we uncovered many of the Haitian routes, smuggling routes to Haiti, to the Turks and Caicos, Haiti to the Bahamas, Haiti to Guyana, Venezuela, and the Eastern Caribbean. I also want to thank the Pan American Health Organization for allowing us to conduct the Migration of Health Workers survey in 2018. In this survey, we interacted with over 25,000 health workers, which added a lot of value to our database. We also have to give credit to CARICOM and the CARI firm for allowing us to conduct the Human Trafficking Survey in the Caribbean at 2019. This survey was sponsored by the European Union and by all the governments in the Caribbean. During this project, we got the cooperation of many counter-trafficking units in the region. And we investigate, and our investigation, we became exposed to data on suspected traffickers and data on persons who were suspected of committing such crime, and also persons who had been investigated by the police. We also want to thank the government of Venezuela for allowing us to conduct the Human Trafficking and Migration Routes Survey, the impact of trafficking from Venezuela to neighboring Caribbean countries in 2020. In that study, we discovered the 43 human trafficking routes from Venezuela to the rest of the Caribbean and the world. We want to also acknowledge one of the private donors who donated 2,700 cell phones to some of the Venezuelan migrants, so we can literally track the movement from Venezuela to places such as United States, Canada, Europe, Chile, French Guiana, and most parts of the Caribbean. We also want to thank the Caribbean Court of Justice, the Juris Project, and the Government of Canada for allowing us to conduct the consultancy to gather data on pre-trial detention in the Caribbean region to 2022. And in that study, we collected more data on suspected criminals and person incarcerated in the region, and the reason for the imprisonment. Finally, we want to thank the Government of Canada, the British High Commissioner. However, we also want to thank the United States government, particularly the U.S. State Department and the U.S. Embassy for the leadership in the fight against human trafficking in the Caribbean region. So my topic today is to discuss the state of human trafficking in the Caribbean region. So our main research the central premise of our research is focused around the predatory aspect of human trafficking. However, to understand human trafficking, you must understand the Caribbean region. So what I want to do is just give you a short description of the Caribbean region. So the Caribbean region accounts for about 8% of the world's population and about 33% of all crime. Okay, so the Caribbean, we have about 7,000 islands, a million square miles. There's no central government. We have underfunded law enforcement units, people with major vulnerability issues. We have quote unquote corrupt governments and law and officials. We have different type of languages. We have over 25 different languages in the region. There are 12 sovereign island states. We have 12 dependent territories. We have over 300 islands in Venezuela, about 315 islands in Guyana, a lack of resources in the region to combat human trafficking. We also have weak legislations, limited funding. There are over 83 brothels in the region. Sex tourism is big business in the region. We also find that sex is in high demand by the citizens of the region. And most important, we found that sexual violence against women is seen as a form of entertainment in the region. In addition, the apprehension rate of human trafficking is very low. And also, in addition, the regions have very low perception about migrants. So human trafficking, it does not happen by itself. So human trafficking comes with a plethora of other services. Services like drug smuggling, firearms trafficking, pornography, kidnapping, extortion, money laundering, corruption, murder for hire, contraband, especially in the petrol. We have drugs for arms, drugs for rice, drugs for salt and flour. We have a whole bartering system in terms of drugs. We also have the smuggling of migrants and the smuggling of tissues, human tissues within the Caribbean region. So the Caribbean is a very, very complex place.